On Monday
And then
and
like,
Kathy
he's a
was
good
so
guy.
bad.
She's like,
Trying to do it.
I didn't know what I read, so
I did mine on Edipus Rex. That was the one that I remember the best because Miss Love was a way better teacher for me.
I heard everyone uses Wuthering Heights.
I did not like remember the character's name for Wuthering Heights.
Yeah,
So
we're still not done teaching curriculum, and we've taken AP test. And also, he didn't tell us the format of the test.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
I remember
Do you want to sit
this.
here? Do you want to sit here?
No, you're our leader, our fearless leader. We follow you.
Right here.
Is that right?
Did I not?
Okay,
Cassie,
good.
put one right in the MTC. Cassie, can you pass one? So that the MTCs have one.
Were there enough copies for everybody?
Yeah.
I've heard from JD and Tally. Was there somebody else? They're not coming.
Oh man, so many
To
things.
the
Have you guys heard from anybody else?
Wait. I think I gave mine away.
Do you need an extra one? There were two pieces of paper.
Yeah, we need one more like this one.
this of the
Yeah.
So,
Should we wait a few minutes or do you think?
shall begin. So we don't have a secretary, so I can act as that tonight. That's cool. How's everybody doing? Good? Exciting? Did you bring a Rubik's Cube tonight? No? Yes? Oh, of course. Last time we were together, I don't know if you guys remember. Who was not here last time? So we went through introductions. Everybody did little introductions to help me. And then all of a sudden we did a Rubik's Cube challenge. Hello. Come on in, have a seat.
All right.
And it was like, what was the time? It was like
oh, so much.
3.2 seconds that you
No way.
did a Rubik's Cube?
I don't believe that.
11? 11 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
Okay, no.
We're gonna sit there because we're just.
How are you?
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're going to call the meeting to order and call roll, and then if we'll introduce you.
Sounds
You guys
great.
know who this guy is, by the way?
Yeah.
Very nice. Good job, everybody.
Familiar, sort of.
He's got a cool announcement for us tonight, a neat invitation, and we'll turn it over to him after we get started.
All right. I'd like to call the May 3rd meeting to order at 6:30. Do you mind? Are you gonna? Okay. All right. Allie here. Kendall. JD. Tally. Adriana.
Here.
Alexandra.
Here.
Avery. Aston. I think he's coming late. Connor.
Here.
Grace. Here. Ian.
Here.
Jack. Here. Jordan.
Here.
Cassid.
Here.
Morgan.
Here.
Soha.
Here.
Tegan.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Zoe.
Here.
All right, perfect. So first, we wanted to start off by just discussing Arbor Day and how it went. So,
May
Oh.
1st.
good, yeah, sorry.
Okay, thank you. So first, I want to introduce my son Colin. He's along for the visit, and I want to start by thanking you all for all that you do. It's great to see this group continue on year after year, and so what I would like to do is share an idea with you, see what you think of this idea, and if you like it, we'll run with it. So one of the many things that I do as mayor is get to go to regional meetings around the Denver area. And I think the coolest group that I get to interact with is called Metro Mayors. And Metro Mayors is a group of 40 different mayors from the Denver metro area. And they meet every other, or we meet, since I'm part of it, we meet every other month, so 6 times a year they meet. And they get together to talk about regional things. So issues like transportation, homelessness, and many, many others, crime, opioid addiction, those sorts of things. Issues like that do not know boundaries of cities. So every city and town is dealing with those types of things on different, different degrees. And so it takes, a lot of those issues takes a regional approach to deal with it. So that's kind of the purpose of Metro Mayors forming. And this group was actually one of the first think the Denver Metro Mayors Group was the very first in the whole country to form like this. And we've actually had groups from other cities and states come and look at what we're doing in Denver to say, hey, this looks like a good idea, we can take it to other places. So the next meeting is in June. It's the first Wednesday in June, and it is possible for me to bring guests. And I would like to bring, I'm thinking like 6 of you. We'll see how many are interested. Maybe none of you are interested, and then it won't be an issue. Well, I'm just thinking, 6 sounds like a good number, but if we have more and we could figure out a way to take more, we can take more, because there's plenty of seats in there. So the meeting is at the Denver Chamber of Commerce, downtown Denver. My idea is to ride the RTD bus, the Flatiron Flyer, down there, all ride down together, and we walk, actually take the mall shuttle up to Larimer, or Market Street is where the chamber is located. We walk over there, we go to the meeting. Now here's the fun part. The meeting starts at 7:30 in the morning. So this means leaving the Superior at like 6:30 in the morning. Okay, so summer, early morning, but it'll be daylight, so you'll probably be up already doing other things. So anyway, meeting is 7:30 to 10 a.m. and you would just basically sit in the perimeter. We have a big room, probably 3 times the size, and you just sit on the perimeter, kind of observe what's going on, and you get to meet other mayors from other cities. And there might be some other guests there too, but it'd just be an opportunity to kind of see what the mayor does in these regional meetings. And then after the meeting, I thought we'd head down to Union Station. I'll buy the group lunch, and we'll take the bus back to Superior. So that's kind of the idea, and I'll let you all discuss it, at the appropriate time in your agenda. Decide if you like the idea, maybe get a kind of a hand wave of who might be interested, and I would, those that aren't here, you can pass the invitation along to them. If there's significantly more than 6, I'll kind of leave it to the group to how to choose who goes. Draw names from a hat, whatever you think is appropriate to figure that out, and that's the idea. Any questions? Does it sound interesting?
When in June would this be? Because I know people are gone.
I think it's June 6th. Let me
7th, I think it is.
7th. Yep, June 7th, Wednesday, June 7th, 7:30 a.m. Colin has been to a Metro Mayor's meeting. I think he went to last June's meeting. It's kind of the June and the August meetings are kind of the only ones that would work for students, because otherwise you're in school, and that's, I guess it would be a decent excuse to miss school, but this is where you don't have to miss school. So, but it's a very fun group to be a part of. All the mayors are super friendly. My very first one of the very first Metro Mayors meetings that I attended as mayor was in January. We have an annual retreat in January, and I'm seated next to Mayor Hancock, and I just gotten elected, and here I am sitting next to Mayor Hancock, and I'm thinking, this is pretty cool. It's you get to interact with big city mayors, small town mayors, and it's just a lot of fun. We're all having similar issues in different locations. It's just fun to share ideas. And you get a real insight into kind of what's going on a regional basis. So, any questions? And I'll let you all get back to your meeting.
What's the dress code, Mayor?
Dress code, I would say business casual would be fine.
Business casual?
Yeah, I don't know that it suits, you can wear a suit if you want. I usually wear a suit, suit and tie. And so you could dress up if you want. I mean, I would say, not shorts and a t-shirt. Probably it's probably more dressy than that.
That's really good. Guys, just so you know, this is an incredible invitation. Not everybody gets an invitation like this. Great honor, and you guys will learn so much from being in a room like that for a little bit of time. So,
yeah. So if questions come up, let Kevin or Katie know and get them back to me, and I'll be happy to address them. And yeah, I look forward to taking several of y'all to Denver for half day. I mean, I'd say we'd be back probably in the 12 to 1 time frame. Allow an hour, meetings over at 10, get down to Union Station, probably have lunch around 11 to 12, get on the bus, somewhere 12:45, you should be back. Yeah, I mean, just getting to check out the whole Flatiron Flyer system and the Union Station, even that's just kind of a fun experience to see that. But yeah, getting to go into a Metro Mayor meeting is pretty unique. Not everybody does that. So. Okay, I'll get back to your meeting, and I'll look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
all right,
you.
see ya.
Do you want to like take a quick head count about who might be interested in going? I think I'd be interested.
Yeah, write your names down. Could you call out
Yeah,
names?
Zoe, Jack, Connor, Soha, Grace, Ian, and Allie.
Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that what I counted? Cool, and we'll let JD, Kendall, and Tally know, see if they are in.
Perfect.
All of you guys on this list, like it's a pretty, like, firm, strong, like, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. I think that's very doable. Okay.
All right, back to Arbor Day. So I wasn't there, so I'd love to hear about how you guys thought it went, or maybe I'd like to touch on some things that you thought went really well, and also some things that you think could have gone better, you might like to change in the future, or maybe change it altogether, I don't know.
I think for the first time doing it, it was pretty successful. Like, there were a good number of people there, and it was just really nice, like, seeing people check out the different parts of the park.
Did all the events run smoothly, do you think?
The part that I was manning didn't have a lot of people, but for the people that did come, it was good.
Cool.
Yeah, I think maybe like a bigger sign or like getting the word out more for the Family Fitness Challenge, because we didn't have a ton of people that knew about it, even though people were like going around and doing the things. They didn't really know that they could like do all of them and get a prize or anything.
Because I don't think we announced it, like, at the beginning.
I think they mentioned it like once quickly.
There's this one mom who was a little passive aggressive about prizes, where she was like talking to us and she was like, these are such kid prizes, being like really sarcastic about it. And we're like, yeah, now that we're thinking about it, yeah. And she was like, well, okay, like, so we might want to have different prizes for like more kid-friendly stuff, because like she was just really passive aggressive about it, being like, oh yeah, my kid totally wants coffee. I was like,
Okay.
it was a little rough. But yeah, other than that, like it went really
I think maybe calling it something other than a fitness challenge might be a good idea, just because that doesn't seem like a kid-friendly thing that people would want to do. I mean, for people who are into fitness, it's cool, but like, it's more of an obstacle course almost, sounds more kid-friendly. So I feel like more families would be interested.
Let me just say, you guys really handled people so well, even harder people. I really loved how you guys were just very professional in the way, very gracious in the way you were customer friendly, I would say.
Anyone else? Yeah.
The art challenge also went on then, right?
Huh?
There was also an art challenge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Did that go well?
Who was
The same
named
people
that?
win?
I was.
It went
The
okay.
same people win again.
Yeah, it was like a little disorganized just because we didn't know, like no one had told us like when we were announcing it or anything, so we didn't quite know like what to tell people.
And
Yeah,
we just
and then it was
told
also
them what
windy
on
and
the
things
sheet.
really blowing.
And then they like got mad because it was supposed to be at 11 and it wasn't. It was okay though.
So a little tighter on the time, I mean.
Yeah,
So-
or maybe just tell them that we'll contact them later if they win.
Gotcha.
It was a little hectic, not gonna lie, just because like it was the park opening as well.
Mhm.
So like people were there and we were like, it was just was just a little hectic but it was a lot. There's a lot of people there. So.
Do you know how many people are there?
We know over 200 people.
Cool.
That's good.
Move on. Anything else? Okay. So the next thing we want to talk about is the National Trails Day event. And as we talked about in the past, there's an OSAC meeting that a few of us were going to go to, which I still think is a really good idea. And they kind of had asked if we could maybe present a few ideas to them about something we could do like in junction with their activity. But as we talked about in the past, we're not sure if we even want to host an event at that because we always get a little bit overshadowed. So I just kind of wanted to get everyone's opinions about if you would want to come up with an idea for like a game or something we could do, or if you think that that's not the best idea for that event, or any other ideas.
Another option too is just to be able to tell OSAC we want to just support what you're already doing. So if they need us to just help out in different ways, set up, clean up, I mean, there's a range of things that we could also offer ourselves as servants for that day.
I think if we were going to do some sort of activity, it would have to be kind of like everybody does it on their own. It shouldn't be an organized thing because, like you said, there's always the one big event that everybody looks forward to. So I would say, if we were going to do anything, it would probably have to be a craft or, something little.
That could be a good idea, just like so people might stay longer at our booth kind of rather. I mean, we did the maps in the past, but and we could still probably do those. I think people liked the maps, yeah.
Didn't we like at an Arbor Day like a couple of years ago? We made like little bird feeders with pine cones or something. That'd be a cute thing to do.
Yeah, I agree.
I definitely think that's a better idea than the game.
So maybe we could bring that to the OSAC meeting and just say, would you be all right if we did a craft? Or?
One problem with that, I found out because I do a girls' camp and some bird seeds have peanuts in it. So, we would just have to be careful what bird seed we would be buying because people are allergic to peanuts, and so, that's just a warning. But if we do that,
How do you put the bird seed on?
it's just no, yeah. There's also butter. The one bird seeds have peanuts in it, and then there's also the peanut butter. There's other ways you can use. I don't know. There's a bunch of other ideas to use.
Yeah.
Instead of substitutes for peanut butter and
like almond butter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we could just do the where they plant stuff in the mugs instead.
Yeah.
That's a lot more simple, I think.
I did have a lot of
bird
cleanup
feed.
though.
What?
Didn't we have a lot of those pots?
Yeah,
we had a lot
did
of
have
pots. And
Are there
I think
still
we
any
still have
pots?
extra pots.
No, I think we've given them out. So they
Okay.
did terracotta mugs. That could be a pot that they're really cute.
Any decision you'd like to make on that, or do you just want to throw out the idea, either one to the group?
Well, how much work is it to order new mugs to plant in?
Well, we can order new mugs. It's a matter of is that what you want to spend your budget on?
So arts and crafts
No,
supplies,
it's easy to order them.
mugs.
Or if we did the mini,
Dirt.
because the mugs I felt like were a little too big last time, even if we just did the little tiny ones,
You guys have a budget.
Then yeah, the dirt was kind
Well,
of.
could we also just decide that we would do a craft and have someone find ideas to bring to the meeting?
Yeah, so the decision can be, we want to do a craft. And then we could go to the meeting and
Do we have a meeting before June 4th?
we don't. Well, this OSAC meeting is next Wednesday night.
Yes, but we wouldn't meet as a group until then.
That's right.
So maybe we should try to decide now. We could just vote.
Good.
All right, raise your hand if you'd like to do the pots. I think I have to. Okay, bird feeders. Okay, so bird feeders it is. So. And then we could decide, I mean, I understand the peanut butter thing, but if it's like really expensive for an alternative, do we want to?
I don't think it is.
It's not?
I'll look something up because if
Okay.
you just look up substitutes for peanut butter.
I mean, was it a problem last time? Like, did anyone say that, or did you just learn that?
I learned that because the girl was like deathly allergic to peanuts, and like in the physical birdseed they had peanuts.
So
And,
maybe
like,
even if
that-
you just
that's
like let people aware,
Yeah.
like be aware of the fact that we have peanuts and like.
Yeah, but like some
at their
people
own
can't be
discretion.
like the same like a distance from it. So
Well,
like,
yeah.
that's just like I don't know, but
So
Yeah.
would we even have to have the bird seed? Could we just do the little feeder without the seed?
they would have to fill it up at home if they.
Yeah.
What kind? I forget exactly how we made them last time. Didn't we like dip something in peanut butter and then like roll it in
Pine
bird
cone.
seed? Oh, pine cone.
Didn't you guys use pine cones?
I forget.
I don't remember, but there was like a hole in it so that people could like.
So, yeah.
Or
So
was
we
it like
probably
this
need
piece of wood or something?
I think it was wood.
And
I
we
think
dip
it was
it
just like a
and
thing and you put.
Maybe we couldn't find pine cones. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean.
So we may need
So it's like quite the
a
arts and
little
crafts, it's
bird,
not like a bird
little
feeder.
bird feeder committee that's gonna figure out what we're gonna do, where we're gonna get the supplies, how much it's gonna cost, all of that. Who wants to be the bird feeder?
Anyone want to go back to the pots? Little pot? Or any of those people that voted for bird feeders want to be on the committee?
Okay, quick question. What has OSAC done in the past on National Trails Day? What events, what exactly do they do there?
So
Yeah.
they do a run in the morning. They've had like Rocky Mountain Rescue come out. They have a Hot Quest come every year.
Yeah, good, okay.
And then last year they had a guy that did snakes and talked about snakes in the area
New
and
trails, I think that's a great idea.
what to
Stuff like
do.
that is-
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. And then I think Boy Scouts this year are doing Compass something. Oh yeah, I just put this on there. Leave No Trace.
Okay.
Boulder County Rangers will be there. Yeah. And they just have like little stuff. And then we always pass out the passports that the Parks and Rec department does. We do like the passport program.
Okay.
So we pass those out because it talks about the trails and everything.
Do we still do work with the Keep It Clean partnership?
Not on that day. We do a day with them, but not. We're actually going to work that in with the Impact Summer Kids Camp this year. But we don't normally do it on that day.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Yeah,
What
this
do
is
you
the
wanna do?
hard part is going from idea to
Implementation.
implementation. That's right.
Is there anyone willing to take on figuring out what materials we would need or how to order them? And if not, can we agree to switch to the pots where you just need one little pot? No one has an opinion.
I'm fine with doing either.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
All right.
So the pots are easier.
I think I would, yeah. I think that would be
Did you
easier,
find
because,
any-
like, honestly, like, although the pots are messy, like, bird feed
Well, we are outside.
is gonna be, like,
We're gonna be
way
overworked.
worse. I feel like the bird seed's just gonna be way worse.
Okay, so pots it is?
Yeah.
What we can do is we can get, those really big storage containers and just put the soil in there, and then that's
Let
kind
them
of like,
scoop it out.
yeah, it's just contained in that one area.
Yeah.
That's a little bit less
Did we have it like in a bag last time or something? That,
Yeah, in
is
like
that
the
what-
bag that
Okay, yeah,
the
that's
soil
probably why it
was
was.
thought in.
Okay.
Awesome. So you're gonna head that up. Can you find out how
okay.
many, we can work together. If you can find out how many pots we need, how much dirt we might need. What are we planting in these little pots?
Last year they did like wildflower seeds, I think.
Okay. So yeah, so if you can, start thinking about that, and then whatever we can do to order it and all of that stuff for you guys, we'd be glad to do that from a staff perspective. Was there anybody else that was going to help her, or was she the only one?
I can help her.
Awesome. All right, cool. So you guys maybe after the meeting can figure out who divvies all that up.
Awesome. Oh, also, we need to figure out who is going to go to the OSAC meeting.
That is
Did
next
we already-
Wednesday at 6:30
Okay.
here.
Is there anyone that is available to do that?
How long is that meeting?
I think it's just an hour, right?
It
Or an hour
is,
and
but
a
we'll
half?
also put you guys will be at the very beginning of the agenda. So you'll do kind of like what the mayor did, go in, present, listen, and then you can slip out.
Where is it?
It's here. Okay, so Cass and Tegan. And anyone else, Soha?
Sweet.
Is that good? Okay.
You guys present our stuff, listen in, and then whatever you guys want to then report back in. Let's use that GroupMe app to kind of report back in on what you guys hear there.
Cool. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the Cosmic Youth Skate Night, and a few of us went to a meeting with the people from Sports Stable, or one woman, and she was really, really nice. We had a good meeting, so we have some
Should have them there.
notes from.
It's on the back or the front of one of your pieces of paper there.
So some things we talked about were like the pricing. It was $6 for skate and skate rental, and then $8 for an all-you-can-eat restaurant, which we thought would be cool. Maybe even just to say the price for the whole thing was $14 and it's all you can eat, because we know that's like an attraction for a lot of middle school / high schoolers. Yeah. And we are deciding on Friday or Saturday nights. I don't know if anyone had a particular preference.
I think Friday nights works, because like
I feel like people would want to like go out on a Friday night and do something fun.
like Saturday night you're like already in your pajamas, you don't like, want to get up, and like your parents don't want to drive you. Yeah, definitely Friday. Never mind. Because like, never mind. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's something we could talk to them about also as the day. And so we are asking them kind of about some things we could potentially be involved with, because we don't know exactly where our role is in that whole thing, since they will have staff on hand. But she basically said we can help with as much or as little as we want / are allowed to, you know, because like they have a whole new sound system and like light system, but they might not want us to touch it, but maybe they do. We don't know for sure, right? Probably not.
Probably not.
So there's other things we could do, like, someone could possibly DJ, or we could invite like a local DJ, because they have a DJ station, and even just like we could help with handing out skates or, you know, collecting tickets or something. Or we could also just be there to participate in the event. So it's kind of, does anyone have any ideas about what they think would be best?
I don't know how us doing music would go down.
Well, if someone like wanted to make a playlist, you could just plug your phone in or something, like a clean, you know, playlist.
I think that our role should kind of be like wherever they need us.
Yeah.
Because obviously this is kind of, it's in their territory, and you know, we're just kind of coming in and saying, hey, can we piggyback on this idea? And I don't want to, you know, infringe on what they've been doing and what their plans are. So I think if we're kind of just like extra staff that they don't have to pay, you know, that's kind of the best option.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So like another thing that kind of may go along with that is we also talked about whether or not we would want additional events at the skate night, or if we would just want it to be a skate night. So if any of you have ever been to the Westminster one, it's just you skate the whole time and it's super popular. A ton of people love it. But we also talked about like there's some games you could play on the ice, or there's like the graffiti on ice markers, which could be fun. But it may also kind of mess up the flow of the skate night, so I don't know. And if there were activities, we could obviously help run them. But I just don't know if you think it would be beneficial to have activities, or if you think it would be popular enough without.
I think normally people just love being on ice and skating around. I don't think there's a need for us to do some other stuff. But, I mean, we could.
Anyone else? If you went to it, would you want to do an activity, or would you just want to skate around?
I think it'd probably be better just to have everyone skating and like just do whatever. Because, I don't know, planned activities are hard when it's not like, you know,
Like your
you're
friends?
going there for the event. Like
Yeah.
if you're not going there for that activity, then it's kind of like not we can't guarantee that people would want to participate or that people would be like annoyed that they couldn't just skate. So that's the only thing.
So maybe advise them on maybe just focusing on skating, because that's part of the reason why they want us to be involved, is because they don't know what the best way to reach kids our age is. So if we can help give them like opinions on stuff like that, would be good.
Maybe if we try to do an activity one night and just see how it goes. You know, because it's kind of a trial and error thing. We can't assume that people are not going to like it or assume that people are going to like it.
Yeah. Maybe even on like the second one or something, so we get a feel for like how many people come, or, you know, like things that run smoothly or not, before we like try to do something else with it. That's a good idea.
We could just have like markers available for people who want to take them and draw on the ice. And also, I personally like the idea of limbo on ice, because then it could just be like, hey, like getting everyone's attention, and then just people would just line up and do limbo on the ice, and it would just still allow people to skate around.
One thing I think about the markers is like, would you be annoyed if you're trying to skate and there's like a group of people like down on the ice drawing, you know?
You could do like a little area in the middle or something and designate that.
Normally we are just like very middle, yeah.
Okay.
I like the empty space too.
I think limbo could be fun at like the top of the hour or something.
Yeah, I think as long as people can skate like around the perimeter, it doesn't matter like what's happening in the middle, and we can do whatever we want in the middle, but like as long as there's still room for people to skate.
Yeah.
And if we don't like block off the entire ice, then I think it'll be fun.
We could do like little games where you could draw it like, I don't know, some tic-tac-toe or like dots and boxes, if anyone's into that, just games on the ice too.
So maybe we just like advertise as a like only skate night, and then we could do that, because I feel like if we say like, come draw on the ice, like we may not get as many people, you know, but if there's like other things for people who get bored of skating to do, then that could be a good idea.
Yeah, and also like, I feel like normally when we see events being advertised, it's like the big event, and then they have like little sub bullets or whatever, like, oh, these are going to be, like all the things are going to be there, so.
Yeah, true.
Put that under there.
Cool. And kind of alongside of that, we also talked about maybe involving some other parts of the sports stable, like the turf field, and like having a whole like youth night, but we didn't necessarily want to make it too big right off the bat, and also we would have to like pay for the additional space, because those aren't like in direct correspondence with the rink that they would have available for Friday or Saturday nights for us. But if we did do that, there's some more options for games or like cool new activities. We could do like those balls that you run and like bounce into each other. I don't know what they're called. But they like ordered a bunch of those. Oh yeah, knocker ball. So like if it got big enough where we thought we could expand it into like a 2-section thing and still have enough participation, then we could maybe do that. But I don't know. Does anyone think we should start it right off the bat, or wait for a while?
I think we should wait.
We should wait.
Okay.
If we have like an overwhelming amount of people the first time, then for the second one we could do that.
Yeah.
But I think we should see how many people come first.
Because it would come like out of our budget probably to do that. So. Or we could even, they talked about like having us do it as like a lock-in or something if we wanted to rent that space and use it for night, but that's like kind of a different path, so can keep that in the back of your minds.
When would this be?
I think they said the first one could start in June.
As early as the first week of June,
Yeah.
they said they'd be open. They also said that the first ones, they would incorporate them with their open skate, but because not a lot of people are coming out to their open skate right now, it would feel like your own night, you know, even though there may be you'll find an adult or a little kid in the middle of that, but it'll be mainly you guys.
But everyone would be paying the same price, right? The open skate is that price?
That's a good question. I don't know that she specified or
Okay.
had a difference. It seems like a fair price, $6 to skate and to get your skates. How much is it at Westminster?
It's
10.
10? Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So she may be giving us a deal.
Yeah, 6 is really good, and I even think $8 for all you can eat if it's like pizza and stuff. Like, I think kids would love to eat that right up. But yeah, so I don't know. I think it'd be our job also to like tell our friends, because we're not going to be in school anymore. So to get the word out, we might have to do some of that as well. Because I don't know how many kids our age are like reading the town newsletter and stuff, you know. So maybe you guys are, but I don't know. But if you're like in group meets or something, you could like advertise because no one's gonna have anything to do, even though like they think they're gonna have stuff to do all summer.
Would you, I'll go back to Anne and report this for you guys. Do you guys want to say as soon as you can get it on the calendar? You guys, by the way, take a look on the other side of that page. You'll see kind of the calendar of what's coming up. Different activities, not just hours are on there. So you might be able to say, hey, here's where we can best put it in where we think we might get the most involvement.
Not the night of the movie.
Good call.
Yeah.
That's really helpful having the HOA meetings on, knowing what dates.
So how would you advise on dates for me to go back to Anne?
I'm kind of wondering if the Friday versus Saturday thing really matters in the summer. You know, because like you were saying, like
that much attention to what day it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Well, like, because parents are at work still, so like.
Saturday?
Well, no, like.
Well, not Friday night,
but like. I know,
at
but
8.
still. Yeah.
That would be a bad job.
Well, yeah, we like.
most people
Yeah.
Just looking at the schedule, it seems like Saturdays are more available.
Yeah.
that's
And I know
true.
we don't want to overlap with the movie nights, so I think it'd be maybe a better idea to do Saturday.
I kind of agree.
So it looks like you, I just pulled up a calendar. You have June 2nd as a Friday. You have June 23rd as a Friday. And June 30th as a Friday.
Those are a lot of days that are Fridays that.
And then pretty much I think every Saturday would be open.
I think we should, I like the 23rd because that gives us time to get the word out, but it's also not too close to July 4th because people might be out that weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the very like first few days of summer might be hectic because like there's a lot that goes on those first few days after. Does the 23rd sound good? Or was that the Friday though?
It's a Friday.
Yeah.
Do you want to start on Friday or Saturday? Or does it not matter? Maybe we could ask them if they have a preference and just say that we're fine with either for now, and then if we think like suddenly that Saturdays are way better or something, then we could probably switch.
But yeah, just that like weekend I feel like is good because even if we do it on a Saturday, I don't know how many people would want to go to 2 big events.
Yeah.
In a row.
I agree.
And is this middle school and high school, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's their open skate, so it's really open to everyone, and I think that even at the Westminster one, there's people of all ages, and that doesn't really hinder the event at all. And with the lights and everything, like, you can just go with a group of your friends, and you're not. So. Yeah. Anything else? All right, so right along with that is kickball. I think the first year we did it was super successful. I think last year we had some issues, but we want to figure out a way to hopefully get it back on track. I know we had some ideas a while ago about like what the best time to do it is / who we should involve, but I think that it's like time that we start getting a more clear idea of what the event will look like.
So, can somebody real quick, just for everybody's knowledge, do a little recap of how the kickball has gone before? Not was it good or bad, but this is how we did it. Can somebody give a little recap of that so everybody has a good knowledge of where we've been?
So the first year we did it was 2 years ago? Yeah, and we did did we do 2 separate leagues?
We tried to do 2 separate leagues.
We had an idea.
I think it was all one league.
Yeah, we tried to do, and then like 2 of them.
There weren't enough teams.
Yeah, so we didn't have enough teams, but we did it all, and they had that final game there in one of the baseball places. And last year, it was just one competitive league, and then not really sure how the final game went because it kind of they did it on the turf field, I think, and it was a little disorganized. So
Did we even do a final game? I don't remember doing any of.
I know it was a pickup game.
Yeah, there was a pickup game that I vividly remember playing.
Was the pickup game successful?
There was like there was kids and adults playing, which was really funny.
They started, but I don't think they ended.
Because I know two years ago we had our ref, and I think that
it
that
was
went
more
well.
organized.
And we had, I mean, people knew the rules, and I think the one thing that was sort of a problem was like the age or like how many young kids you had to have, but we don't necessarily have enough people to split it up, so it's like every year it's kind of like a problem because we don't know what the best way
I
is.
feel like a problem is that like if we put age restrictions, then the number of teams goes down. That's not something that we want.
Yeah, but we also don't want adults playing.
Right.
A whole full adult team playing against like 5 kids and 5 adults.
Can you
so.
do an adult league and a youth league?
I think
Is that
we
part
tried
of
to
the-
do that the first year, and it didn't.
The whole thing was
Yeah.
like the
It was just-
families and like not
That's
splitting
right.
up families,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, like having a.
I say we just make it competitive this year. Because last year was like completely not competitive and it failed, so.
Yeah, I think
there
that-
we go, offside.
because didn't you say that more of your friends would do it if it was just like I mean maybe that's
Yeah, my
how
neighbors were gonna make a team, like, or my friends, Cold Stack, they were gonna make a team. Someone off our street was gonna, so.
But then when you like had to have a certain amount of little kids or something, then it like makes it so other people won't sign up. I mean, maybe the little kids, maybe we could offer it up where like we're all gonna be there and we can be with the younger kids on the side who can't, instead of making them feel obligated to have their 5-year-old out there, but like maybe they could be out or like cheering for their parents, or we could like make posters and cheer them on, you know, something like that, and just like kind of as like a family night, but like we could call the kickball more competitive. Because I think there's enough people that would be interested in just like
playing for
yeah, exactly, like a prize that they actually want.
So if we did do like an age restriction, would we advertise like, oh, kids younger can still come and watch from the sidelines? Or something?
There will be like people to watch.
Or maybe we just like advertise it as competitive, and then be like, if you're like if members of your team don't meet this criteria, or like don't want to play, I don't know.
I feel like if it's advertised as competitive, people are gonna know not to like have their 5-year-old on their team with them.
Yeah. So like if they just knew that we were there to help.
And you
that's
could also
fine.
say like competitive and there will be people to watch your kids if need be, like that'll also let them know that it's not for little kids.
Or even if we made it like a barbecue event sort of thing where there's like families and like, or maybe that's too much, but, because we kind of talked about doing it like the week before 4th of July, or like spreading it out a little bit since the dates sometimes don't align. But I don't know if what exactly we said.
Didn't we say we were going to try and do it on July 3rd or something like that, just the night before?
Do you know what day that is though?
July 4th is a Tuesday, so it'd be a Monday.
Because it's just whatever about the fields, because if we did it on July 4th, we only got one field.
Yeah, that didn't work well. I think the night before is a good idea for sure.
Yeah, we can advertise it.
Or even like
Still
the
will only
weekend
have
before.
one field.
So what about like that? Because we talked about like
Did
the
you guys hear
Saturday night or
that?
something.
Still just one field.
Yeah, because we set up everything the day before.
So if we did like the like weekend before, like that Friday night before, you know, something like that, and we could have both of them. And
So
just
again,
have
you
it
have to
be
ask, the question is, you know, who signs up for that, and will they be available? And it'd be to play just that one day, or to play again on the 4th?
How many days was it 2 years ago?
2 days. It was 2 days, and then you did like all the games the night before, and then the final game was on July 4th.
Okay, yeah.
So let me ask a couple of questions to back up a little bit, and so maybe this can help you guys a little bit. If you were to play, what would get you to play a game of kickball? Like,
Knowing that I could be competitive and have fun.
Yeah.
okay, so winning competition,
If there's like a prize.
prize,
Food. I think
food.
Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings was fun.
Yeah, last one.
How about timing? When would you be most likely to play a game of kickball?
Well, could we
At
do
night.
it like during the day on the Saturday before the 4th
Wednesday? Well, they start early, don't they? They start at like.
I feel like I would go at night.
Yeah, if it was like
Yeah,
an evening or
because also
something.
the parade is.
Yeah.
Like if you think about kids playing like street games and stuff, like they play at night when it gets
Twilight.
cooler.
Yeah.
You know. But I guess I don't know. I guess the Saturday would work during the day, but it
Yeah,
just, like might
I mean,
be
as
super
long as
hot.
it's still
you know?
light out, like,
Yeah.
it's not playing too late.
Let me ask you this. Is this an event worthy to have a night of its own? Or can it be coupled with the 4th of July on that day to somehow make it a part of a greater thing?
It depends how many people we expect to sign up.
And 2 years ago, we did like the final game on 4th of July.
Probably coupled with it.
I feel like
I think
that's-
that was more
People
successful.
still do street show.
Honestly, just.
Wasn't last year there was something about like since 4th of July was like a weekend that a lot of
It was
people were out of
in
town?
March.
True.
Yeah, so a lot of people were out of town or something, so the weekend before can be hard. So maybe there'll be more people.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I think it'd be more appealing to do it the night before, or like at night.
I think the night before is the best though, with one field.
Are there other places we could do it? Like
No.
there's up there.
When does everything get broken down? When's everything gone off of those fields?
Usually the next morning.
The next morning?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it'll be July 5th. They'll come and pick everything up.
Yeah. So there's still, like I was thinking, maybe the evening of July 4th, you know, but then there's still stuff there. You still only have one field.
I mean, you could take it all off and put it somewhere else. That's a lot. No, we can't because we'll have the big tent and we can't
Yeah.
take down that big tent.
Yeah.
How many fields do you need?
Well, like one. If
Not
it just
sure.
depends on how
Maybe
many
one is
teams you
fine.
have.
One's fine?
So, because we have 2 baseball fields out there, we got Stewart and Scanlon, that 4th of July is on Scanlon, so Stewart's open. And then of course you have Williams if you want to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's just easier for us to do it on a baseball field just because we have the diamond already and we don't have to
Mhm.
set it up.
How many teams did we have last year?
Well, last year was a pickup
None.
game, so
Yeah.
last year, like,
Zero last
None
year.
was just a pickup game. Or last year was
Just the pickup
The
game?
first year was 3.
Three.
I know 3 of them showed up on 4th of July because I made them sign all the waiver forms.
Yeah, there were still people on July 4th, like 2 years ago, watching the finals game. So I feel like we could really just, like, almost before the event, like, itself is ending, be like, this game is starting and you guys should go watch. And I feel like that would be but it depends.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions here. It seems like, you know, we have so many different opinions and ideas. And so, you know, the idea of competition seems to be big. I mean, I'm trying to think of what are the things that are really important. Competition is really big. And prizes. So, I mean, if I hear competition, prizes, and food in an evening, is everybody in sync with all those decisions? And then the other thing is just, you know, how do you get people there? I mean, if there was only a pickup game last year and only 3 teams the year before, what is it going to take for this group to get a whole bunch of teams? I mean, maybe 3 is plenty, maybe 3 is enough, but to pull that off, to make it happen.
If we were gonna do it the night of July 4th, maybe we could do like a little sign-up booth at the event and be like, there's gonna be a huge kickball game, you guys should come and sign up.
Do you think people will come though with fireworks? Like I feel like you go and get your spots for
That is
fireworks
true.
like
Forgot
hours
about
before.
that.
You know.
But I wonder if you could, this may mess with the evening thing, but if you could say, hey, we've got a booth, we're signing up teams, we're actually playing, you know, in a couple of hours, you know. So after you eat your pancakes and everything else, meet us at the field and we'll get this tournament going. That maybe that gets the teams there. I don't know.
But do people come with like a group of 15 people that they want to like?
Yeah,
come to?
I
Or
was
you
gonna
go-
say like
go
any
get your
random
friends,
sign up
you know?
is gonna be really young people that don't make plans.
Right.
So.
The only thing for me is like whenever I go to that, by the end of the event, I'm so tired and I usually can't make it through the whole thing anyway, especially if I've been to the parade and you always have to wake up so early, and then you go and walk around and it's so hot, and then like if we're doing it after, it's gonna be the heat of the day. Like it just might not be super appealing to like kids or I don't know. You know, I don't know. But I mean, at the same time, I used to always want to go to that thing at the pool where I could like dive for sodas afterwards. So maybe people want something to do. I just don't know.
But that's refreshing.
Yeah. That was really fun. I wish we could, but they said you can't do something like that anymore, right? Do you know?
The what now?
Does anyone remember? Did any of you guys go?
that was
Yeah, you
fun.
guys. There was like games at the North Pool on 4th of July, and you would like dive for sodas or like do fun things. And then they got a new manager, and they like cut all those activities. And it was so sad, but everyone used to go. I don't know if it's allowed. I don't know.
All right. I'd like to toss out an idea that maybe we pick a few people here that are just super passionate about kickball and getting this thing going, that would dive in a little bit further into this, maybe do an extra meeting, and then really plan it out, really research it, and really then be able to give us a really great plan. Because I think with this many people, we're going to be all over the place. I don't know if you guys, I know that this is a pretty big deal for a lot of people, the kickball thing. And so I wonder if any of you guys would want to do something like that, to kind of dig in a little further.
I won't be here for the tournament though, so I can help like organize it.
Cool.
Does that sound
Yeah.
like?
So Alexander, Connor, and
I won't be there though.
But if you guys like were able to even just like figure out ways to get kids your age to do it, or like a bunch of your friends be like, you guys should make a team even if you weren't there, like, because I feel like that's the age group we're looking for, and like the competitive like boys might want to do, you know, I don't know, and girls. But
Who was it again?
well, you three, yeah, okay.
Okay. I'll follow up with you guys and get you all the information from last year too, and so you guys can look at all that.
Okay.
And maybe we can round up to do a little extra meeting somewhere where we can really plan it out really well.
Okay.
All right, so moving on to the pool party. We want to pick a date now, and also one thing was that they advised us to keep the pool party to pool hours, so I think we had kind of mentioned maybe trying to do it afterwards, but I think that it's gonna need to be during the time that the pool's already open, and that we wouldn't be closing it to the public, would we, during that time? No. So it'd probably be a similar format to last year.
What if instead of doing like a middle school pool party, we still advertised it as that kind of, but we did more like a family-friendly night at the pool? Because obviously, like I can just tell you right now, every single middle schooler I know is not going to want to go to that.
Yeah. That's fair.
When does the pool close again?
8:30, 8 or 8:30, right?
Yep.
8.
And picking those, the last 2 hours or whatever.
And we opened it up to families, and a lot of families that come, like, I don't know, moms finding something for their kids to do or whatever.
Do we for sure want to do it at night? I mean, if there's already so many kids at the pool during the day and we just like playing games or something, that also could be fun. But I don't know if we want to, like, that might not be as much of like our event because there would be a lot of kids there. But if people joined in, they would, like, we'd get the word out about us hosting it. And if it's really fun, they would want to come back to our events.
If we just have like a cheap price to join our event, then like most kids like bring money for like the vending machines anyway, so like they could just join in our event, like give them a stamp, and then they could eat our pizza if they wanted. They get.
Well, we could just do like $2 for pizza and then just like kind of have games going on, but not like have to pay to get into our event, you know? Because it's like it would be open pool, so it's hard to differentiate. But like just for food, maybe someone could like come and.
Also, would this be on a weekday or a weekend?
Yes.
I feel like weekends are really full of.
Yeah, I feel like weekdays could be a good idea because kids are always looking for anything to do. Or even if there's like babysitters, always looking for something to do with kids, so if they could just take them up to the pool and not have to entertain them, you know? I don't know, but also we could still do it at night because some people like that better.
I would say like Friday night, just because I know I used to work at night at the rec, so a lot of families want like Friday nights for their kids to go somewhere. So I think we should shift the focus to not middle schoolers and more towards grade schoolers. That might be like weird with liability or something, but
like third graders can have pool.
yeah, because none of there's like third to sixth graders or something. So all those kids bring money for the soda and the snacks there, and yeah, because I think the event just has proven not to be popular in the past years. So I think instead of focusing our efforts into targeting an audience that doesn't seem to want to come, we should focus on something else.
Huh. I wonder, I mean, that's a really good idea, just from the aspect that you could advertise it as a, hey parents, you want a couple of hours for a day, you know, drop your kids off at the pool, you know, we'll take care of them, we'll have games, we'll have food, and all that stuff. And so parents feel like they're served, kids are gonna have a great time, a lot of wins all around. You guys get to, you know, get the kudos of, wow, these youth took care of our children for the night and helped us to have a great night too. But then also maybe even saying, hey, middle schoolers and high schools also welcome. We've got pizza for you guys, and you guys don't have to watch them obviously, but they can be there too. So you're hitting a whole lot of different demographics. The pool will be full, and you guys maybe get a big win.
The other thing I will say is that it's kind of hard for us to engage and be a part of it when we're, you know, on the outside, when we're not in the pool. So I think having a couple like designated people to be in the pool, kind of interacting with kids, maybe playing games, would really be beneficial, just because otherwise, you know, we're kind of seen as authority figures and we're inaccessible.
How many do you think you would draw to this? And it's just one pool? Why can't you do younger age groups at the South Pool and older age group at the North Pool, or vice versa? Is that too much?
We just didn't have enough kids to split it up last year, so we just don't know how to get more kids in the first place, you know?
What day was it on last year?
Whatever the
Just
movie
did
night
it Friday
was.
night.
Oh yeah, because it was movie night.
It was movie night.
Yeah, that may have been part of our problem too, so.
Yeah, I wonder if we start the registration process, and as we get to a certain number, then we can say, looks like we may need 2 pools. And then at that point, reserve the other pool and do that.
I think the idea of the parent night out is a great idea, and that's a big draw. But if I were a high schooler, I wouldn't want to go to the pool with there's third graders and fourth graders. Maybe middle schoolers, older middle schoolers, but
That's one thing about Night at the Rec. It has like the whole like, oh, the cool kids are gonna go, you know, to
Yeah.
Night at the Rec. So I don't know how like they have that whole vibe. I don't know. I've actually never been to Night at the Rec, so I don't know how it works. But like, I'm not sure what kids necessarily do there. Do they just like swim or other activities?
The pool's open, and then we have like the gym's open for basketball, and they have like huge inflatables in one other gym. And then they have like this dance room, which play like the weirdest songs, but that's where they can eat and drink though. So
And
they
like,
make a lot.
So that's like more of a hangout
Yeah.
thing then.
That's the other thing about Friday nights. Like people want to get out, but they might not want to come to this because they have other things to go to.
That's why I was thinking maybe like a weekday where it's like kids might be at the pool anyways, but I don't know if then it's our event as much. But like, I mean, the North Pool is always packed every single day, and there's just tons and tons of, like, there's some kids that you just see every single day at the pool, and that's just what they do because their parents are working, you know, and they don't have a babysitter. So like, that would be a way to cater and meet some of those kids or even like potential members. But we could try again at night and just see if we could get more people not on a movie night day. But I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna ever have that same vibe as like Night at the Rec, where it's like, oh, night away from your parents, like none of us can drive, but we all get to go hang out with all the kids from school, because it's like not necessarily the same environment, you know. But I don't know if we could make it like that.
So let's make some decisions. What are the key decisions we need to make?
Target audience and when and yeah.
Who would like it on a weekend or Friday night? And is that during the night or during the day on a weekend?
Let's do it at night.
Night? And then would everyone else want it during the day? How many is that want it during the day?
I just feel like it's not as busy, you know, like you said earlier, it's not as busy as the night.
Yeah, and you get more turnout, so you can like experiment with the people who are in there.
The other thing too that I just thought of is that when it gets darker, it gets colder, and then people don't want to be in the pool.
No one swam when we did it last year. They were all getting out of the pool.
So
That's
it might
like
be
one
better
thing.
to do it earlier. Like maybe we do it like 3 to 5.
Yeah, like an afternoon.
I think late afternoon is probably the best. That's when most people are still there in the morning, and it's like also a lot hotter than it would be at night. But things are starting to slow down, so I feel like all the younger kids will start to be leaving, and that way it's mostly the demographic we're looking for.
Yeah, and then we don't conflict with like swim team or swim lessons or anything. Does that sound good? Like 3 to 5 one day? Yeah, and we can still serve pizza. Oh, I don't think we decided which day.
I don't think we should do a Friday or a weekend. That's just my opinion.
If you do it on a weekday, then it's like if your parents aren't working or whatever, then they'll be like, oh, there's this thing at the pool at 3. You should go check it out or whatever. Whereas on a weekend, maybe you're trying to spend time with your parents more.
Yeah. Kind of agree with that. Does anyone feel strongly about doing it on a weekend, or can we agree that a weekday?
I just don't think that there's a Friday that would work for us. Because we wanted to do it earlier, and there's obviously events scheduled, and weekends are a little bit awkward, you know, because people have plans and stuff, so.
Yeah, so weekday, sounds good.
And then that's in June, July, it's June, right?
Yes.
Yeah. First 2 weeks of June.
So I'll go back to Brian, our rec manager, and ask which days, early June, during the weekday, 3 to 5, would work best for him. And I'll let you guys know about that.
Can we come up with like possible dates now, just because our next
Yeah, we do
meeting
have
is
a lot of
in
stuff in
June.
June. Also, if we have a community story time, we should think about that too.
Are you guys doing this at North or South?
No.
So, I know Friday afternoons, he has Impact. We'll be there. I'm not sure when Rocky Mountain Day Camp goes.
They go during the day though, so.
But you won't want to do it the same.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of kids.
And they usually don't.
Do they go to South? Or do
They go
to
to
North?
South, yeah.
They do South?
Well,
They can walk.
they go to South. Because they rent out Eldorado, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they go South.
If our target is elementary kids, we might want to try to do it at the South Pool though, because my sister loves the slide. And I know that's like a big hit. But
that's true.
So maybe we can ask too, like which pool works better.
Good. Preference is north, and then, is that what I'm hearing in the group, or is the preference south?
Raise your hand if you'd like North. Alright, yeah.
Okay, so I'll check on north first, and then. Then what weekday? We didn't say one was better than the other, just check it out.
Yeah, I think any's should be fine.
Okay, yeah, and I'll keep these other dates in mind and ask them.
Cool. Okay, so moving along to community story times.
Real quick on this one, because we don't have another meeting. Well, yeah, we'll have another meeting, won't we? Before that one, but we may have to start advertising before that.
Yeah, so is there any?
Is there anyone that would like to help with the advertising, putting something together as far as that? And then what our plan is on that? Okay, I'll check in with you on that then through the week and between now and next meeting. And we can get started and then report in and whatever.
So we usually do them Wednesday, right? Is that? Or does it just depend?
I can actually pull up the flyer from last year.
Oh.
I think they were Wednesdays.
I think that's right. That's what I'd seen.
Yep, usually like the first Wednesday of every month from 10 to 11 is when you guys did them last year. So you did June 8th, July 13th, and August 10th. And you had Rocky Mountain do the first one, Sheriff's Department do the second one, and Board of Trustees do the last one.
Does anyone remember if one was more successful than the others because of maybe who was reading, or do you think it doesn't matter?
I don't think it mattered.
The
Like,
firefighters.
Yeah, the firefighters.
Yeah, okay,
no.
that's what I was thinking from what I remembered. Because we had talked about maybe just seeing if they would just come to the three of them in the summer, right? As I feel like we talked about that at one point, or because the kids really love the interaction with like the firefighters and everything.
Helps develop that connection too,
Yeah.
just between people.
So maybe we could focus on that, like read with the firefighters. Or, I mean, I don't know that we necessarily want to like change the name of it, but if there is something that would be more interesting, maybe we should consider.
It could be like a tagline.
Yeah. I feel like we get pretty good turnout for those, you know? Does everyone think 3 is a good amount? Once
That first Wednesday in June is the mayor's meeting. So we could go second, or and the first is, it's nice. I mean, there's some of you that'll be here, you know, some of you will be at with the mayor, some of you can be here for the reading on the first one.
And there's also several kids that aren't here, right?
Yeah.
So maybe there'll be, I mean, do you know how many people we needed at each reading last year? Not too many.
2 or 3.
Like 2 or 3. So I bet we could keep it, or if anyone wants to change it to a different week, do you think?
I think it'd be good to keep it
I think
consistent.
we could have it.
Well,
The other thing, so yeah, mayor's meeting's the first one, June 7th, and then you have July 5th, so the day right after.
I think
the 4th.
last year they did it the Wednesday after that.
The Wednesday
So,
after
yeah.
that. So it's the first, then the second, then
Yeah.
What if we want to just do all the second
seconds?
Wednesdays?
Sure, we could do that.
So
It's probably
in August, yeah, because you guys wouldn't be back in school yet for the August one.
So that would be June 14th, July 12th, August 9th.
Sounds good. And for snacks and stuff, I think last year we would just do like fruit snacks, and that was pretty popular. I don't remember what else.
We did popsicles on the last day.
Popsicles. Was that messy or was it fine? Was it good? Do they last?
I mean, yeah, as long as we kept them in the car
Okay.
until the very end, and then kind of like, I think, did we give them to the kids during like the last story so that they would Sit
Sit
still.
down.
I was the one I went to. We had fruit snacks, and they just loved the fruit snacks, and they don't melt. But popsicles are fun for stuff too. So I don't know.
I just remember like some baby getting popsicle all over himself. It's all sticky and yeah.
So wet wipes might be good to have some cleaning materials. Napkins.
So would it be at the same place, like that hill in Community Park, I guess?
It's a nice place to do it, especially because it's called Community Park Storytime.
Yeah.
You guys can do it wherever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, and you don't necessarily have to call it community story time. You can call it.
Didn't we talk about potentially doing it at the new park so we could cater to that side of Indiana as well?
We're gonna have construction at El Dorado like all summer, so.
Oh.
But like,
Okay,
how
so-
disruptive will that be? Like, how much of an impact?
Well,
is that?
It should be okay, because it's got its own entrance, it's, you know. It's just what Indiana will look like right there with trucks coming through. Shouldn't be too bad. What do you think, Chris? If there's construction at El Dorado, if that Wildflower Park would be easily accessible, or if that's going to be a pain for people?
I think there still will be accessible
Mhm.
because it's not PBSD property, so I think the drive-in and the roundabout will be open and accessible.
Do we want to do it there? Or do you think it's fine doing it at
have like a
one?
loud day for construction or anything like that.
Because if it's super loud, that might be an issue.
True.
And kids walking and stuff, maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I think we are still trying to like build up that program. So if we just like kept it consistent for one more year, and then maybe next year we could talk about
I think
moving it.
we're community parks more central anyways. So.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
also
true.
they could get distracted because that new park has like so many different things. They could really
Mhm.
just
Yeah, that's
draw
true.
and the, like all the girls
Smart.
vibe.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so maybe we just keep it. I think.
Okay. And the times were again? 11 to 1?
10 to 11.
10 to 11?
Mhm. Does that still work? Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Nice work.
All right, so for team development, we talked a little bit about this, whether we wanted to do like an actual team development day where we have done some of those activities in the past, or if maybe we just wanted to do like an end of the year kind of party and call that a team development just because we'd all be at an event together, or both, or...
I personally liked the barbecue we did, even
Yeah.
though that was more of like a recruiting new people thing. It
Mhm.
could be like transitioning the people out and new
Yeah.
people in.
So we can maybe combine the two, because the next one is like the recruiting new members. We did like out with the old and with the new. Does anyone feel strongly about doing a like special team building activity? I mean, we've had leaders in the past lead us through like actual team building kind of ish stuff. Does anyone really like that? Think that might be beneficial, or?
Those never work out the way you want them to.
Or even like a walk-in kind of thing, like with the sports table, they kind of offered to do that? Or no? I mean, we've had that on the table for a long time. I don't know if people really would want to do that or not.
What would that look like? Just like show up and...
It would be costly, number one. I mean, that's one, for a lock-in time, you'd be looking at a lot of cash probably. So probably sports table might not, if you want to do a lock-in, that may not be the best venue. That's my first thought whenever they were telling us about the sports table. you
Yeah,
know,
it is a little bit.
For,
Especially
what
if
was
it's
it?
just an event for ourselves, since
Yeah.
we're mostly supposed to be doing events for
$75
others.
an hour
Yeah.
for a third of the field.
Would it be as expensive at nighttime though?
I'm sorry?
Would it be as expensive
Yeah,
at night?
2 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd probably cut us a deal, but, you know, you'd
I
be
feel like
looking
they
at.
would, because nobody,
Sure.
yeah, although it's, is it open? Like,
Someone has
They
like
open pretty late.
their plug up place.
but nobody's gonna be there like 2 or
How open, how late are they open to?
Depending
I
on
think
the
it depends
games.
on what's going on, what hockey's going on. I mean, sometimes they have games at midnight, 1.
That's right, yeah.
I guess I've never been there when it's been closed, so I don't know. But I don't know what the actual hours are.
One idea maybe.
It's 2 a.m. every day.
It is.
Whoa,
There you go.
Really?
She needs some late night ice skating, you know where to go.
One idea, and I don't know obviously what the kind of the rules of the town are, but maybe we could get special permission and spend like a night in the parks.
Like camp out kind of thing?
Yeah.
Council?
To camp in the park, probably not. Maybe to extend the hours, probably could, but just camp overnight. We went through this a couple of years ago with scouts camping in their backyard, and at one point, that was illegal.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's, that's been changed, but I don't think we could get past the.
I think maybe a group, I think it's more like a safety with that too, but that's
people who like take the toes out.
Yeah.
Take their
Yeah,
kids.
yeah. That's a good idea though. You just find a random field and do
You can just do it in the sports center on the turf, like.
That's probably
not a
not.
bad idea.
Yeah.
That could probably be arranged because the indoor turf field is not really being used after 9 or 10. And I think that we could probably work something out with Impact. They'd have to have somebody there, that's the only problem. Or maybe town staff could be part of that. But I think that could be arranged. They could camp out on the turf, that's a good idea.
The big thing to think about on a team development or, you know, some kind of get together for you guys is the big why. Why are we doing this? Is it to bring in people and to celebrate the people that are going off? Is it team development? Is it that there's going to be something that you guys are doing to work together to build team? What is the big why behind an event like that? And deciding that will then let you know, well, then we should do this or not do that. What would you guys say the big why would be for something like this?
I'd say that the why would be just to make everyone more comfortable with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So meetings flow more.
I mean, I might be totally wrong about this, but I think the idea of like having, you know, like seniors who aren't going to be here for another year and also potential new recruits who are coming in, like it'd be nice to have them meet like, you know, leaders who have been on the council in the past and kind of just talk about things and have that sort of continuity, but also might not be like as practical. So
I see those two working really well together. You know, everybody's getting to know each other, building camaraderie, but also it's very purposeful as far as it's orientation almost.
Almost the best way to do it is like when there's not too many plans, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like letting people actually talk to each other rather than being like, tell them your 3 favorite colors and what you like to eat. And then you're like, green, blue, you know, like that's really awkward all over again. So.
Yeah.
I liked the barbecue we did last year because I felt like it was really easy to talk to everyone and there wasn't a lot of pressure. Like we got to play with like the toys puppy and like we had a pickup frisbee game going because
let's
like,
definitely
we found
get a
out
puppy at the
there's
next
new,
one. That
Because we found out like new members play frisbee. You're like, oh, so do we.
And, like,
so
the
like you know
volleyball.
that was a good way to connect.
Yeah, there's volleyball. We were like
Volleyball's
ball
always a
playing
good
at one-
idea. I feel like it's like everyone can play. You all have to play PE so everyone knows how to.
Yeah, I think that was a really good like non-stressful way to connect with everyone.
Yeah, I guess a lock-in could be a little much for like if we want new kids, as they don't know anyone. They're like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you're,
be
like,
locked
committing
into
to several
a tent
hours
with
with
5 people
someone.
I've never seen. Yeah.
It's better if it's just like us talking to people and not being like, now introduce yourself.
I feel like it's hard that like people can come on the council the whole year because if there was like the new members are in August and then like September you do a lock-in, that would be like make sense. But if it's like, oh, we're getting 3 new kids in January and they're not going to know, you know, then that's like kind of defeats the purpose.
Good. We've got a little time to work that one out so we can set dates and stuff. But it'll be August before our seniors leave. So when do you guys take off? Do you know about? You don't even know.
When was the last meeting? Do you remember when? I don't know when
Oh,
Rachel's
well.
last meeting was.
We could do it on our meeting night. I don't know. Is that allowed? Can we have a party on a advisory meeting night? I mean, everybody's already set for that.
Okay, yeah, because well, we didn't have a party or anything when they were leaving. But we did like recognize them on their last night and like brought like cupcakes But that was just a regular meeting. I didn't even. I mean, the party could be on any day. It would just be then, like, whether or not we would come to the next, we probably wouldn't come to the next meeting.
We've done that with other advisory committees. For the first stack, we would take the meeting outside and go somewhere else and have the meeting, we'll start the meeting and then just get right into the party part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's already got that on their calendar, August 2nd. So that might be a good way to end the year.
Yeah, that would be true.
And there's nothing pressing from the work plan after that. I mean, the new council will be creating a new work plan and moving on after that, so. So August 2nd, during this time, will be the big barbecue. Just plan on that. Is that?
Yeah, that sounds good. And would we advertise that as the, like, recruitment for the new, like we did last year?
Yeah,
We
like
could.
an interest barbecue.
Yeah, okay.
We may need to go ahead, and we'll talk about this next, but some other things we could throw out before that date too, to get other people interested before school's out.
So Kevin, would you do that meeting in a park?
We did have Purple Park last year.
What do we want to do at Wildflower this year? They have sand volleyball, basketball.
Zip line.
Yeah, zip line.
Would we want to do it a little bit earlier, like say maybe 5:30? Just because I know that if it goes till 8 and we're outside, that might, with mosquitoes and.
And volleyball.
We should get someone to figure out like food, drinks, puppy.
Yeah.
You can just have Tori come back with the data.
There you
Not
go.
a puppy anymore.
We'll bring Tori and the puppy back. We have one meeting, we'll have 2 meetings before that. So if we want to find out who wants to be kind of the party planners, we can figure that out. Okay, we'll put that as an agenda item for next time.
All right, so should we still talk about recruiting? Okay. Does anyone have any other ideas we could do for recruiting new members, or like which student groups particularly we would want to engage with? Like there's a lot of clubs and stuff already at school, so if there's maybe some we could partner with to get new members, or
NHS kids always need volunteer hours. So.
Yeah.
I'll make sure they're not just doing it for the volunteer hours. Some people do like Key Club or whatever, they do it for the volunteer hours and they just never show up or do anything with it.
So true. Because I'm in Key Club and I know that, because it's like half of my club doesn't come to any of the morning meetings. They just stick, they just do the volunteer hours.
I wonder if that would ever be an opportunity for us though, is like to offer up some of our volunteer opportunities to groups like NHS or Spanish Honor Society. I mean, those kids literally always need volunteer hours, and so if we could say like, come, I mean, that might be a good way to get people involved that we want, and then also just engage other youth, and there's no problem in having more people volunteer, I think.
And have we ever gone into schools and just like announced that this is a thing? Because I feel like we should do that, like at school assemblies or something, just like make it
But
known.
like the problem with that is like we don't have any high schools in Superior, so some people might live.
Well, I mean, like this isn't only for high school.
No, but like yeah.
With Superior residents.
Yeah.
Would be the thing.
So you could go to El Dorado.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might be a little less intimidating also to be like at an assembly if you're like high school, or you could go to a middle school assembly rather than being like in front of your peers, because that's sometimes hard.
But like also, I mean, we don't want to have 100 applications, and kind of making that message go out to so many people at once is kind of got that risk for, what if we have too many people?
Is there like an El Dorado newsletter that's sent out? I don't know.
They have Friday.
If like anyone's interested.
Do they?
Not for middle school.
Not for middle. I don't think there's anything for middle schoolers.
There's a newsletter.
Friday
There's a
forward.
newsletter.
I mean, I don't know that it would be the worst thing in the world to have a lot of kids apply.
Like when you
would
announce
we
it,
really
just
get
kinda-
100 kids? I don't know that.
And when you
would be
announce it,
good.
just say like, there's like a thorough application and an interview process, and then that'll kind of like weed out the kids who aren't interested.
And also, even if it was was like harder to get in, then we're just gonna even get better and better applicants who are super committed. So it's like, and hopefully we wouldn't have to kick anyone out. Oftentimes there's like little ways to make it so people can stay, or they come for a few meetings and they don't stay. But like if we have 10 kids interested, then we might get 5 rather than 2 kids and getting 0. You know.
We added, just so you guys know, responsibilities and requirements on our application, so people can kind of weed themselves out, like, oh yeah, I can't do that. So we have 25 spots, so that's the other thing. I don't think we even have 25 here, so we've got a little room. We'll lose 4. We've got 5, so we've got about 8 or 9 spots that we'll need to fill this next time.
Scratch out the assembly idea. No. Too many people for that.
No, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Is there any like specific clubs at El Dorado that are like for kids who like service? Like I know that there's the student council, but
Which is barely a student council. You did student council, didn't you?
I just remember Brain Bowl.
Yeah, I don't remember being in any club.
There's like a math club. I did that one time.
Miss
wasn't
Brenner's.
Yeah, Miss Brenner's. Yeah.
I think that if we reached out though to like Miss Casey about Brain Bowl, I feel like some of the kids there would.
Yeah,
the Brain Bowl
Missy
kids.
Casey would love to do that because she sponsored a lot of clubs at El Dorado, and I think she still is. So.
Or even like a lot of kids are in the.
It's called Brain Bowl from Miss Casey.
she's going on maternity leave though.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Lucch.
I thought she wasn't taking, or she's not going. Never mind.
Does El Dorado have a like NJHS or something?
No. I think Brain Bowl is the only club
Brain
that.
Bowl's like interesting. Yeah.
Maybe
The
some
only, like,
kids that are in like
strong
the
club.
theater. Like I know there's a lot of kids that do the musical, like
Oh,
some of the
that's
history
true.
here, and those kids
I think those
are
are
obviously involved in school already. So if they wanted to be more.
Also E360.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
It's pretty back
It's like the mentors for the 6th graders, the 8th grade. Or is it 7th and 8th grade or just 8th grade?
Yeah.
7th grade.
7th and 8th.
Yeah. It's like the 360 leaders at Monarch too. Both. That's kind of cool that they both have that.
Cool. Anything we can do at any of our events between now and then to promote or recruit or anything like that?
Maybe we could get like a banner or something for us, because I feel like at every event that either we put on or we like partner with, having our name and our logo put out there really does help. Because I know like a lot of parents come up to me and they're like, wow, this is such a cool opportunity. You're like a council member working. And I was like, yeah, we work with like the town and everything. So, and then like that could be like a connection with parents if they're like, apply for this or something.
Yeah, and most of the people that
Good
like
idea.
I meet at events and like staff ask me about it, and that's their first time that they hear about it.
I think even just
So-
mentioning it when we do things like, National Trails Day, or like if we're having kickball, like people are like, oh, what is this? Like even just mentioning it then and being
Even
like,
the skate
this is
day.
what we do, and, we have opportunities if you happen to know someone who'd be interested who's like this age. So I think even just mentioning it would help.
Yeah, if we could introduce the like people with the animals and stuff at National Trails Day and be like, and we're Spirit Leadership.
Because like generally people who come to town events are interested in the town, so like it would make sense that they would want to be a part of it.
I wonder if we could ever have like a tent fest at our name, because like I just
Yeah.
have this in my brain because we
You
just
have
got
a
one for
banner.
tennis. Okay, well we just got one for tennis. It says
Yeah.
like Monarch Tennis, and it's like
Well-
cool because we can just like bring it and set it up, and then everyone knows.
We have, like OSAC has a banner, ProStack has a banner, Archive, so we can definitely get you guys a banner.
Yeah, that'd be
banner
cool.
with like that art, like where we signed that like people should fit challenge. I'll be like, go to like the tent with like
Yeah.
people with our thing, but then it'll be like look for the banner for our
Yeah.
like logo.
Yeah.
So,
Could we ever give out like cool stickers or something that kids like put on their water bottles or like, like that was like cool looking, not like Superior Youth, like if it just said like
Mhm.
our the initials.
That'll motivate us for the new logo and the new shirts and all that stuff.
Yeah, because our shirts say 2016.
Do they still
That's-
say?
I think they say 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay,
So we'll
note to
work
self,
on
do
it.
not
I'm not
put
sure that I know where my
date.
shirt
Yeah, no, no.
Shirts.
Yeah, because we usually just wear the green ones.
Yeah.
This is a really good start, and I think, we can develop that a little bit and really get it going really well. Good job.
Do we do other outreach like we've done with the other advisory committees, like the e-blasts? Because we'll send out e-blasts in the newsletter. I know you said that students your age don't really read the town newsletter, but maybe we do send out an ad.
Well, we do
The
the
parents do.
Facebook, and I see some of you go in, I'll throw them in the 8027 Facebook page, and quite a few of you go in and either like it or share it, or.
Could we maybe ask if the principals could do like a email blast to the new, like everyone that gets a new BVSD email in the incoming school year, and then they all just get a email? Because like I figured out about opportunities from the principal by like an email at the beginning of like my junior, sophomore year, like you can sign up for these things. And fill out like a Facebook or something.
Also the chamber too.
Yeah.
Do they do the rooftop drops?
I think we do.
Yeah.
That's not
Rooftop drops.
Yeah. We can get a
We do
little
have a
flyer.
Facebook page,
Yeah, we
I
do.
think, actually.
You could, and the next one is in July.
I remember liking it. That was it.
Yeah, but I don't
Great
know.
idea.
who-
Oh, yeah,
Does
'cause-
Tori run it?
Yeah, I don't.
The
I
what?
don't know.
We have a
Who's the
Facebook
login
page.
to
Oh.
I don't think I.
No, because Tori didn't have Facebook. I
I don't
can't
think
tell you
I
the
did.
last time you guys used it.
Yeah. I don't
Because
Remember, I
feel-
made Facebook to like.
Yeah.
Because we had like a media account, and then maybe have like one person on the council be like that manager.
Maybe it was Rachel.
And get like trained.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess you have to be like trained to make sure like adheres with like town regulation or whatever, but
Or like an
having that like an Instagram to,
with like pictures of ours.
so someone like being in charge of like taking pictures at our events and then like posting them, having all their friends like follow, and that would be like the main source, be like, oh, that's cool, like this announcement, and then see that.
I'd be down to run the Instagram.
We could have like
Let's
a
have that as an agenda item that we can really talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, well, we could have like a position for like social media manager or something. That's kind of like another way for kids to take on leadership. And,
Like
these-
run for that next year kind of thing?
Mhm.
It could be like a cycle, so we can cycle through people
Mhm.
every quarter.
Or like a
something.
team, because there's so many different, like someone could do
Yeah.
it on Twitter, someone
Yes.
could do it on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's a great way to advertise going.
Cool.
Very nice.
Do we move on to this, or are we kind of out of time also?
Yeah, I mean, we are right at 8, and so there's a couple of these items that we'll move to the next meeting to keep on talking about and finalizing. But it's a great start.
Kevin, can I add one more thing? Just that conversation got me thinking, we've often had the Chamber of Commerce be involved with a lot of advisory committees, and we started having the Chamber come to board meetings and give reports. Has this group met with Heather and had her come in and talk about how this group would partner with the Chamber and do things with the Chamber? I think it'd be great, because they've got some fun stuff. Their rooftop drops, they're always looking for groups to help them with their rooftop drops, and maybe that's a way to get you guys in with them, because they're looking for volunteers all the time.
I think she's, like, when we first started, Heather came and talked to us.
I think we have brought her in, and I mean, she's pretty aware of, but with all the new members, I know that she'd be willing to come in and chat.
Good.
I love Heather. She's great.
And that might be good, even as we continue these meetings, is having special guests more often to really hear from different people from the town and what's going on, different trustees and different organizations. Cool.
You good? All right, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting at 8:05.
8:03.
Thanks, everybody. Good job, good work. Be safe out there. Watch out for the deer, or the bunny rabbits.
Is there any to put the tables on?
Yes, please.
So my phone had work.
Fine, thanks for sending the email, or the newsfeed thing. Can we shut this one down, Katie?
No, you can just log off. Oh, yeah, just log off. Just turn the mouse and keyboard off. Yep. And was this down or up?
It was down. And this was back over here. Chris, thanks for being here, man. Sure. And I know that
The angle's wrong.
multi-function, but if you wanna jump in on the Well, whatever you do, I just want to feel like you were more than one.
I'm supposed to take that one.
Why did
Because we couldn't Peace out.
Sounds like you're a busy man today.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get it one fun.
It's easy to forget
No. I said, you pay $90 to fail. I didn't pay. Yeah, it's,
How did that happen?
I know.
An AP test costs 12 pizzas, and that makes me really sad.
How'd it go?
What?
Our oldest just graduated.
It's like Domino's.
I don't know. My
Yeah.
friend told me.
That is amazing. I'm going over sources. So, you have two more?
College board doesn't need that much.
And,
College board says it's a profit. Yes.
Oh, got some time.
We were really not profit. You would charge me $50 to send my CT scores to one school. Like, oh.
You guys are doing awesome.
We're good. What did we have to do the other night? What? Because we're just putting them down.
Okay.
Well, why don't you get
Yes.
it? Thanks, guys. Wait.
Yeah, time flies.
Okay, let's push it in this way.
You still doing coding?
You're gonna switch.
I am.
Wow.
Okay, next. Go to the side.
Man, so you're doing that, keeping up with your kids, you're doing the prestige thing, you're doing rugby now at a much higher level. Yeah.
You should come watch it. We have a first playoff game. It's on Williamsville Friday night.
Really?
Yeah, 7:30.
Playoff, which is the month?
Yeah, the high school. What?
Is this your first year?
No, we're just finished our fourth for the high school team, the youth team.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thanks, ladies.
If